So often we hear about transforming energies, and raising our frequency is a vital part of our evolution. In the article Why Feeling Like Crap is an Essential Part of Ascension, we had a closer look into the universal energetic dynamics at play, and why there is no way around the pain we experience. Nevertheless, there are a lot of good methods to ease the process of transformation, and to get back into inner equilibrium. This process is like a bootcamp to remember your essence. And with it, prepare you for a completely new paradigm beyond duality and fear. It is not for the faint at heart and not a walk in the park. But there are many helpful tools to make it as smooth as possible. Learn how to be a Master Alchemist, because that is what energy transformation is all about. The rewards are real. Doing the work is so worth it. Living in 5D Plus is living in paradise on Earth. It is beyond anything we could imagine when we are still caught up in the 3D matrix, and the ways and methods we had learned to navigate. The whole ascension process does not have the intention to keep us in pain. Au contraire, it is a deep cleansing process to free us from old outdated belief systems, illusions, fears and pain. It is meant to spark us, motivate us to heal, remember our wholeness, and go for our heart's desires and dreams, without fearing the consequences. We are to become a true free spirit, our true authentic self, embodying our essence fully. What we become after the transformation goes beyond our wildest imaginations. When we are living fully anchored in 5D+, we live in a place of deep inner peace, harmony, oneness, community, creativity, and unconditional love. We are the forerunners to give our fellow humans a new reference point. Therefore, everything that is not serving us for this adventure is stripped off of us now. All the 3D stuff we got so used to. Our beautiful comfort zone. Our beautiful romantic beliefs about relationships. And that can hurt as hell. That being said, here are some helpful tips to navigate your own awakening journey, and move forward as quickly as possible. And please, don't be upset over alleged setbacks. You are always moving upwards in frequency, although it might sometimes feel like being thrown back to zero. It is not the case. See it as taking a step backwards to integrate, recalibrate, and to prepare for the next big leap forward. You will discover the only way to go fast forward is backwards to your origin. 1. Be grateful. First of all, tell yourself again and again that this is happening for a reason. See the bigger picture and start expressing your gratitude for everything that happens for you, the good and the seemingly hurtful or bad things. Nothing happens to you, everything happens for you. Be grateful especially to those people that hurt you the most on a human level. They're the ones that love you the most on a soul level. They push your buttons to show you where you are still not aligned with your essence, and what shadows of yourself you need to look at. They show you what blocks you from your freedom and joy. They show you where you have no healthy boundaries in place. In the beginning, you might not believe it, but just keep going. Remember that everything is a mirror. It takes some time to reprogram our heart and software from fear to love, from victim mode to observer mode. A good trick for energy transformation is having 2 journals, a low frequency, ego journal, and a high frequency, love journal. When you are upset, give your ego all the space to judge, blame, cuss, and spit all the anger out onto paper. Once it is done, take some deep breaths and then reread the ego victim story. Find the points in the story you can be grateful for. What does that situation show you, or teach you about yourself? What wounds does it show you that still need your transformation? Who did you meet that you might not have met because of the situation? Then, take your love journal and rewrite the story into a story of gratitude. After you are done, burn the ego journal pages. You don't want to read that low frequency stuff again. Of course, you can reread your high-frequency soul journal as often as you like. It will help you to stay in higher vibes, and remind you of a different perspective. You can also use a gratitude app to put down everything you are grateful for, and thank the people involved in the universe for the experiences and lessons. Especially the allegedly shitty moments are those that deserve the most gratitude energy, because those are carrying the biggest potential for growth and transformation. Recognize them as chaotic integration phases that are very necessary to get you to a higher level. That is something we even learn in class at change management. A system can only be changed when it goes into chaos first. A rigid structure can never be transformed, no matter if you look into physics, biology, or chemistry. That law is always the same. By rewriting our ego anger, resentment, and fear story into one of gratitude, forgiveness, fun, and love, we are transforming the low frequency to a higher one. 2. Disidentify with your ego. Our ego sits exactly between the mental and the emotional body, and creates a lot of chaos with our thoughts and feelings. For more info on our energetic bodies, please go here. It is a master in leading our mind away from our essence in the now moment, projecting fears that we experienced in the past into the future. We are caught up in should have, could have, if I would have thoughts and are coming up with scenarios what could all happen and interpreting and judging actions of other persons or our own. We blame and judge ourselves, we blame and judge others, we blame and judge the universe. Our ego has got us so wrapped up in fear patterns that we are unable to see the bigger picture and love that is trying to shine through. We are too blind to see that all of this is perfectly orchestrated and is happening for a purpose. That is why it is so important to calm down our little 24/7 chatterbox in our head and teach our ego where its rightful place is. It was always meant to be an advisor and only protect us from real-life danger, when we could be eaten by a lion, for example. Then, of course, a fight-or-flight response is not only helpful but necessary. But our ego is so overtrained by the news, marketing, education, politics, etc., that it causes a fight-or-flight response all the time, pretending we are in life danger. No matter if we have a misunderstanding with our partner or parents, a performance review talk with our boss, etc. That is unnatural behavior, and our ego is actually supposed to be quiet most of the time. So how do we get it back to its natural behavior? We are so used to identify with our thoughts, and also our emotions, but we come to that later, that we do not even think of the possibility that those could be an illusion. We ignore the possibility that there might be a reality outside of our conditioned thinking patterns. That also happens for spiritually very advanced people. The spiritual ego is hard to detect, and can be a really big block in our evolution, recreating loops we are not aware of. I know how it works. My method and knowledge is the only truth. I have been on this path for so long, I don't need any support or feedback. I've done all the work. Those are just a couple of examples, how you can detect the spiritual ego at play. When still in ego mode, we are blaming, we are judging, we are chasing, we are fighting, and we are separating ourselves from the rest, because we act out of fear and we don't want to accept aspects of us that others reflect for us. Thus, it is really important to reprogram our mind, and teach it that we are not our thoughts. To do this, every time you catch yourself in thought spirals, take a step back and observe yourself. Observe your ego. See it as this little child that is afraid to die. So love it, thank it for just wanting to protect you, tell it that it is not necessary though. It can help to give your ego a name when you talk to it. That helps to disidentify with it, and go into observer mode. Ask your ego 2 questions when panicking. Am I or someone else dying because of this? Does the sun stop rising because of this? The answer is no. Tell your ego that there is no need to be protective right now, as there is no life danger, and send it back to sleep. You can say something like, see, it is not necessary to protect me right now. Sit back, relax, and go on a long vacation. You have been working so hard for such a long time, you really deserve a break. It will fight hard to stay in the lead and shoot all fears it has got onto you. Stay calm. Caress your ego when it freaks out, tell it that everything is okay and safe. Tell it that you hear its advice and are thankful for it, but that it is just not capable to see the bigger picture. Tell it that you will therefore not take the advice, and follow your heart, but that this does not change your love for your ego, and that you will not abandon it, but assist it to grow. You will have to do that very often in the beginning, because the ego does not want to lose its power. Don't give up. It will get less and less aggressive. If you show it your love, tell it how much more you can be together with a fusion of heart and mind, it will start to trust your heart, and step by step will surrender. Another very helpful approach is to practice being in the now. Meditation is something that can be very helpful. Integrate it as a daily habit and start practicing being in the now. That is hard. You will realize even more how the mind jumps from past to future constantly. Learn to watch these thoughts flying by without interpreting them or clinging on to them. Tell yourself, those are just thoughts passing by, it is only energy. They are not me, they do not define who I am. Meditation does not necessarily mean to sit like a Buddha for hours and make oming sounds. All it means is to find a way how to be in the now and experience oneness and inner peace in a worry-free zone. You can have that feeling and the connection to the collective consciousness anywhere. Find out what is best for you. Nature, running, surfing, skating, skiing, hiking, painting, playing music. To come into the now. Focus on your senses. Feel, smell, touch, taste, hear, see what is going on in the moment. In these moments, thoughts cannot exist. All you can do is feel a moment, not think it. Once your ego surrendered, you become the free spirit you're supposed to be, and your mind becomes a powerful creator. Your thoughts are the basis for manifestation. If you think fearful thoughts, you create a fearful reality. When your thoughts come from a place of love, you create more and more love for you and around you. 3. Forgive yourself and others. This, for many, is the hardest part to do. Because our ego loves to blame and judge others and ourselves to make them or us feel miserable, unworthy. It keeps us in a victim role. Often, we do not even realize it, because we are so stuck in our old belief patterns based on human ethics and morale. This is just not the way one should behave. Friends don't do that to each other. If he or she would truly love me. Just some examples to help you detect whether you are still in ego victim mode. These sentences are full of conditional thinking. Those are sentences of conditional love, which is fear, attachment, and codependency. To embody unconditional love, we have to leave the human ego level and go on to the soul level. Classic forgiveness work does not go there. It stays on the human level. We might understand the situation of the other person better and why they acted that way, but it still fucking hurts. Forgiveness becomes effective when we add gratitude into the equation. Gratitude for the lessons we learn, for the growth opportunities we receive. That means to radically accept that there is a higher purpose and bigger meaning behind everything we experience, and that our soul chose these situations to expand our consciousness and grow. A wonderful method to do so is Radical Forgiveness by Colin Tipping. He has a lot of information and free tools on his website. It is a great method to transmute energies from low to high frequencies quickly. 4. Accept, embrace, and let go. The second body that needs healing, to remember its wholeness, is the emotional body. It hosts our female aspects, the feeling side. This is where we get into the hard stuff. This is where the real boot camp starts. Here, we have to face our deepest fears and hurts. We have to be brave, and it is not much fun to experience all the hurt and all the past wounds we have buried so deeply and locked away forever as we thought. But, if we want to evolve and live in a higher dimension, locking away is not an option anymore. We are presented with everything that still needs to be transformed to be able to move into the higher frequencies of 5D+. How do we handle that? When pain comes up, the most important rule is: don't fight it, don't blame anyone or yourself, but just accept this as a necessary part of your process, and be grateful for the release. This will transform the low fear frequencies into high love frequencies quickly. Don't identify with it. We are not our emotions, these are just energies we are experiencing. They do not define who we are. So accept them, embrace them, and then let them go. And that is done by acting out the emotion. If you feel sad, cry. If you feel angry, scream and hit a pillow, go running, etc. Whatever helps you to purge it out of your system. Follow what your body and system wants you to do and feels like doing in that moment. You are guided perfectly also in dealing with the pain. In those challenging and painful situations, tell yourself that this too shall pass. 5. Empower your inner child. The inner child is the wounded, abandoned and hurt part within ourselves that recalls those bad memories and delivers the energetic software to our ego with the protection strategy we once came up with to avoid pain or punishment or to receive love attention. This part of us is fearful and sabotaging us as an adult. Working with the inner child is often not successful because our adult self is supposed to take over responsibility and give our inner child what it would have needed in the past. Our grown-up self often is in such a bad place that we do not want to take over any responsibility because we do not feel capable. On the other hand, our inner child just looks at our grown-up self and is kind of saying, "What? This person is supposed to take care of me, and I am supposed to trust him or her. Look at him or her. She's a mess. No thanks, I am better off alone with my learned protective strategies." In addition to that, when people work with their inner child, they often forget that there is not only one version, but 5 versions that have different topics, according to the state of evolution and growing up. The infant, the toddler, the preschooler, the schooler, and the young adolescent. To successfully empower the inner child, we need to work through all of them, and reclaim all of them to come to a complete closure of the past and rewriting the story. 6. Redirect the energies and find joy. When you are a little more used to the emotional breakouts, and not as overwhelmed anymore, you can start to redirect these energies and transform them. This can be arts, journaling, supporting others, dancing, sports, whatever you like to spend your time with. This is the first step into the direction of finding joy again. Step by step, add more things that you enjoy. What makes your heart sing? When do you forget space and time? Traveling, singing, dancing, stargazing, hiking, knitting, painting. Discover what is right for you. Ask your inner child what you truly enjoy and let it come out to play. Discover playfulness. It is very important for us to find joy again and come into the now. This will help to even out the emotional breakdowns. Step by step, you will lift your frequency by adding more joy. The higher our frequency gets, the less space for low frequencies of fear-based emotions such as guilt, shame, sadness, anger, etc. the darkness within us will be absorbed by our light. Step by step, we return to our innocence, essence, and wholeness within. 7. Love yourself and treat yourself well. Even when in emotional turmoil, always treat yourself the way you would want to be treated by a caring friend. Take good care of yourself, make yourself a cup of tea, buy yourself some flowers, light candles for you, spoil yourself with a massage, watch a funny movie, and so on. Laughter and humor can help immensely. Look at your 3D self, taking a 5D perspective, and smile about the programming and the struggles they cause. See, like watching your own Truman Show. A big lesson to learn for us is to enjoy time on our own, and getting rid of feelings of loneliness. This is a giant step into direction of self-love. Another wonderful tool for self-love is mirror work. Sit in front of the mirror and look yourself into the eyes. See the beauty and wisdom reflecting back at you. Tell yourself in the mirror, I love you. You are beautiful just the way you are. You are perfect. These are just examples for affirmations. Come up with what fits for you. It might take a bit until you start believing yourself. Unfortunately, we are all misprogrammed through all the beauty and fashion magazines, telling us what beauty supposedly is. Learn to say fuck that, and keep telling yourself how beautiful you are. 8. Appreciate and understand your body. Our physical body is the densest part to heal transform. Our physical body is like the external drive of a computer where all the old emotions are stored that we suppressed and did not release. Additionally, the physical body is changing from a carbon base to a crystalline structure to be able to handle the much higher 5D plus frequencies on a permanent level. During this process, we experience all kinds of very uncomfortable ascension symptoms. This takes years, as we are working through every single cell of our organism. In addition to that, we struggle with our physical body because it is not the way we want it to be. We think we are too slim, too fat, we don't like the shape of our nose, of our eyes, we have too much or too little hair, etc. So what to do about that? Again, mirror work is a very good exercise. Stand in front of the mirror and start thanking your body, and all the organs and parts. Appreciate what they do for you every day. Your body is your vehicle, and lets you experience life. It lets you feel, smell, touch, hear, sense, walk, breathe. There are so many things our body does for us, we take for granted. Processing and digesting food, moving, keeping our heart beating, transport vitamins, amino acids, etc. to the right places needed, and cleansing out substances that are not good for us. Very often, we prefer to ignore its warning signs and blame it instead. It just lovingly wants us to know when it is time to take a break and rest. So appreciate the pain as well, watch it and find out what it wants to tell you. Again, be aware that our idea of beauty and a perfect body is shaped by social programming. Recognize that this is just an illusion and tell your body how much you love it. A wonderful way of getting much more in touch with your physical body, explore it in an observing self-study, and learning to move in a much more effortless and elegant way is Feldenkrais. You will be surprised how much hidden potential you are not aware of. A healthy nutrition plays a vital part in our ascension process. The energies coming in are extremely tough on the adrenal glands and the thyroid. Food that does not resonate with these frequencies can tax the system further. Low vibrating, dead and processed food can hurt our body in that phase very much. Red meat, junk food, sugar, white flour, alcohol, dairy products and additives are just a couple of examples that are causing stress to our system during the awakening process quite heavily, and can even cause serious addictions and illnesses. You will realize that your cravings change throughout the ascension process. You might need more or less food, depending on the energetic activities around you. Say goodbye to the idea you have to eat 3 times a day. Only eat when you feel like it. Your body is very sensitive during the awakening phase. Even green tea or herbal teas with too many different substances in it can make the system go berserk. Start treating your body with healthy food. Enjoy the taste of a freshly prepared meal with love. Make it a special event, and be grateful for the healthy meal you are enjoying. When it comes to food, start to observe what makes you feel alive, and what makes you rather tired. We are all different and not everyone can handle the same foods. Learn what your individual system needs. Just follow your cravings. During ascension, we can feel like being pregnant and crave the most awkward things. And we are pregnant with our new authentic selves to be reborn. When you crave weird things, make it as healthy as possible. Chocolate. Go for dark chocolate, possibly with coconut or rice sugar instead of white sugar and milk. Pizza. There are whole grain and nut cheese alternatives. Be careful with soy. It has a high estrogenic effect and can bring the body even more out of balance. Lemon water throughout the day, apple vinegar, 1 spoon in the morning undiluted, and Himalayan pink salt, to season your food or in your lemon water, can be real lifesavers when going through emotional and physical pain, as it has a very calming and cleansing effect. The good news. After your body has transformed, you can eat what you want. Your body will not take in any poisoning stuff anymore. You become immune. You will realize the more your body has transformed its structure, the less food intake you will need, as we become more and more self-sourcing. You only eat for enjoyment anyways, not out of a survival need. Give your body what it was actually invented for. Movement. It was not made for sitting 10 hours in front of a computer or on a couch. Yes, there are times we need to just lie and recalibrate, especially in the embodiment phase, when we have transformed our mental and emotional bodies completely. And that is perfectly fine. Also here, follow what your body asks for. Movement does not mean you have to become a marathon runner. A walk in the park and lying on the grass to recalibrate improves your situation quickly. In times you feel more energy, go doing what you love. Running, cycling, dancing, yoga. This will keep your system healthy, helps to unblock stuck energy and release it. It is very likely that you will experience an emotional breakout while moving your body. Again, be thankful for the release and act it out. Another big body-related issue we all have to deal with is the programming of sex and nakedness being something dirty and shameful. We feel we don't deserve to enjoy our nakedness and finding pleasure in sexuality. Also here, our reprogramming is necessary. Again, the mirror is of great help. Do the same exercise as above, but this time naked. Appreciate every bit of your body and appreciate your naked self. Start loving yourself and your body, stroking it softly. Snuggle into yourself. Be brave and explore without any shame. Learn that masturbation can be an act of self-love, instead of fulfilling a craving. It is something beautiful and natural to experience and can help to cleanse our whole energy system from blockages. Sexual energies are our greatest power and we're actually the creative energy directly from source. It is time to find back to this powerful energy and to use it for our ability to create, manifest and transform. This is the ultimate physical form of self-love. Very often, you will experience an energetic release, e.g. through crying while masturbating. This is a great way of transforming energies quickly into higher frequencies. Be thankful for it. Our body is a miracle, and we can steer and create it very well. Nothing is set in stone. We are not a slave of our genes, we are the master of it. If you want to find out more about how much you can influence the functioning and well-being of your physical body, check out the amazing research and work in epigenetics of Bruce Lipton. 9. Sound bathing. In our awakening process, we often realize that we cannot listen to certain music anymore that we used to love. That is because we become oversensitive to these frequencies. As our own frequency rises, we do not resonate with certain music tunes anymore. Music expresses the unseen rhythm and energies of the universe. Music is vibration put into sound so we can hear and feel it. Music and sound can change vibes, and therefore can be a major support in changing vibrational patterns. It can help to push old fears and energies to the surface for release. Most of the music produced for the masses today is recorded on 440 Hz, which is a frequency in disharmony with the natural frequency on this planet, and creates a constant disharmony with our body. 432 Hz is resonating with our natural state of being. While 432 Hz music in general has a very calming effect and is perfect for relaxing and grounding as it is in line with the natural frequency, music in 528 Hz is the frequency of the heartbeat of the higher dimensions, and of unconditional love. 528 Hz music is perfect to bring up old pain to surface to release it. Once you have cleared everything out, 528 Hz music is supporting to connect to the higher dimensions, and to unconditional love through your heart center. 10. Keep your power. The awakening process can be very confusing, upsetting and painful. This leads us to have more questions than answers, and our logical brain and ego wants answers fast. It is more than tempting to ask others for advice, get psychic readings to find out more about our situation, and the next steps we should take. There is one big issue with that though. We are giving our power away to others. We make ourselves dependent again. Awakening is about self-love and trusting our own abilities. It is only our ego searching for these answers outside. Through our heart, we are connected to collective consciousness, to Source, the universe, God, whatever you want to call this higher intelligence we are all part of. To truly become enlightened and awakened, you have to go within, find your own light, your own truth. The only guru you need is you. Of course, that does not mean to make it on your own, and not reaching out at all. It is important to connect and share with others, to realize you are not alone, and to find your own path in your tribe. Nevertheless, a good coach only gives you the tools, not the solution. He or she asks the right questions and is not giving the answers. 11. Sharing. Share your love, your experiences, your concerns with other like-minded, like-hearted people. Find your tribe that gets you and vice versa. Sharing is a wonderful way of redirecting energies into something useful. Even smallest things like thanking a waiter or holding someone the door will change the energy quickly. 12. Grounding and rebalancing in nature. Nature is healing. Healing equals remembering our wholeness. That is where we come from. We have more in common with nature than we think. Because we all consist mainly of water. So does nature. And water has a wonderful characteristic. It communicates and transports information quickly. The smaller amount of water adapts to the larger amount of water. So when we are walking barefoot through grass or forest, when we hug trees, we take a swim or just put our feet into natural water, we are surrounded with a natural frequency, which is carried as data by the water in the grass, the trees, the lakes, the sea, the rivers, etc. When our system and cells are in chaos because we had a bad day, a fight, an emotional breakout, spiraling thoughts, etc., getting in touch with nature water rebalances us quickly into the natural frequency, as we as the smaller part of water adapt to the bigger one. Second best option, take Epsom salt bath at home, or program the water, before bathing in it with 432 Hz sounds. Just let a song play, there are plenty on YouTube and Spotify, in the bathroom, before you enter the bathtub. 13. Watch children. We can learn so much from our children. Just watch them play. They're completely in the now. I'm not worrying about yesterday or tomorrow. Maybe you're even brave enough to play yourself. Sit in a swing, build a sandcastle, or play Boy Scouts and go exploring. 14. Don't try, allow. No matter what you do, practice to let go of control and let things unfold. Instead of making concrete plans, just know what you want. The universe will take care of the how. Go with the flow and trust that you will get what you wish for or something better. 15. Find correlations and get to know your system. In general, on all levels, always look for correlations. What makes you think, feel, or experience body symptoms or emotions in a certain way? Observe your environment, and what is going on with other people around you, or on the planet, or in the universe. You might find out that the fatigue you are experiencing comes from too many people around you or an EMF field close by. Or your nervousness always starts after having eaten a certain food. Your sudden emotional breakout might be caused by earthquakes or solar flares. Finding these correlations takes the drama out of the equation, and you can appreciate your body as a radar system that gives you clues about the energies around you and what is still within you that calls for attention. All these methods ultimately have one intention: to lead you back to self-love and freedom. Once you are there, you can drop them all with gratitude and love. The first important switch we have to flip is from fear to love. The second important switch is to focus on our own evolution and journey, your essence, away from external influences. You are all that counts. Your outside reality always adapts to your inner state of being. Go within. Observe, feel. That way, you will find your true and authentic self. And with it, the answer to the question, who you truly are and what you came here for.